This lesson, I am going to be doing a demonstration of the blend shape technique. It's one of my favorite ways to animate, but it's also a good way if you want to create variations of something. Let me show you what I mean. So we have this sphere here. I'm going to duplicate it a couple of times, and we're going to manipulate each of the copies. Let's see, move this over here. I'm going to use our sculpting tools to mess around with these a little bit and give us some variations. There we are, sculpting tools. Let me drag that off. I'm just going to select the regular sculpt tool. Let me grab this one. Just making some squiggles on it. So this one over here, I'm going to use the grab tool. I'm going to hold down B, increase the size of my brush, and I'm just going to pull some pieces of this out. I'm going to select this one and select this one, and I'm going to select this one last. This is the one that I actually want manipulated, which is why I'm selecting it last. Let me just close this to give us a little bit extra room. I'm going to go up here to Windows. I'm going to go to Animation Editors, and I'm going to go to the Shape Editor. I will now be hitting this button right here. Oops, let me delete this last one. Create blend shape. Now when I move these sliders, the middle one takes the properties of P-Sphere 3, since that one is currently selected. But I can actually do combinations of these. So let me turn this one down. I'm going to do P-Sphere 2 instead. So I could do a combination of P-Sphere 2 and P-Sphere 3 and P-Sphere 1. So this is a very good way to manipulate faces, to animate mouths, as well as to do blinking animations. But let's say I wanted to have a copy of this. I could always just duplicate it and then just move it off to the side. Let me delete the blend shape. So that way you can make variations and just pull and drag them as you need them. I've got another example right here. Let me just get rid of these for us. Delete them. Let me make these visible for us. Here we are. Let me select this one, select this one, select this one, and select this one last. Hit create blend shape. Once again, I can manipulate between all of these. So one thing that I need to point out is that if I changed the amount of faces or vertices on any of these through doing a smooth function or maybe a reduction function, these would fail to work. The reason being is that each vertex has an ID number assigned to it, and more or less the computer is interpolating between the data points of each set. If those numbers change, it breaks the relationship and it no longer works. Once again, let's see, let me make a combination of a few of these. I can just duplicate it and just pull it off to the side. Delete all those. You don't need it anymore. It doesn't matter really. But I do have another example for you. Let me load it up for you. This is the latest iteration of a character I am working on. We're going to set up a bunch of blend shapes in order to manipulate this character's face. I'm going to zoom out and you'll see all the faces that I have generated already. The top row, I believe, are the phonemes. The bottom row, I think, are the different brow movements. And then I have different expressions as well. So let's hit F. Let's zoom in on our character. So what I can do, let's see. I'm going to select all of these. I'll marquee select those, and those as well. I'm going to select this one last because it's the one that I want manipulated. I'm going to go to Windows, Animation Editors, Shape Editor. Oops, let me delete that. And create blend shape. Let me move that over there. We can see all of these at once. You can actually have as many blend shapes as you want. I don't know if there's any sort of limit. I may have had 50 or 60 on affecting one object at once. So let's see. I'm going to select the one that we want manipulated, the one that was selected last, the Wiz Mesh. Hit F to frame it. Now let's zoom in on our face. Now all of these I've set up over the last couple of days. Let's check out the different mouth movements. We have the H sound, the ow sound, F, V. We have a bunch of others. We have a closed mouth. We have a frown. We have an angry frown. And once again, we can combine any of these that we want. So let's see, we'll have them frowning, and I'll do a blink. So if you notice over here, we have edit, we have these are all keyable attributes, which means you can animate these inside of Maya if you like. Generally speaking, I like to bring them into Motion Builder and handle them there. Let me turn that off. We have different brow movements. Oops. Some of these are a little bit extreme, but that's okay. We can always dampen them during the animation process itself. Now, one thing I would like to show you, see, I'm going to delete all of these, is how to do, how to paint weights on a blend shape deformer. Now, painting weights is one of the most difficult things inside of Maya, as far as I'm concerned. I think it's probably prevented people from moving any further with their career. It's one of those things. But what I'm going to show you is pretty basic. What we're going to be doing is more or less using painting blend shape deformers. We're going to paint the weights. It's going to create a mask so that a certain part of the model is not affected by the blend shape itself. So let's delete all of those. I am going to select the blink, and I'm going to select the Wiz Mesh, Windows, Animation Editor, Shape Editor, create blend shape. So let's say I just want them to blink on one side, or to create the shape that would allow it to blink on one side, to be more specific. The way I would do that, I would select this shape, the original one, the Wiz Mesh. I would go up to Deform, Paint Weights, Blend Shape. I'm going to click that. Now, the white means that it's fully affected, 100%. Now, I'm going to go to the Tool Settings, and I'm going to go to Replace, and I'm going to select a lower value. I'm going to select 0, as a matter of fact, which will allow us to paint black, which will limit the animation and the area affected. So what I can do is this. Oops, let's see. So I painted black. So theoretically, this area should not be affected when I do the blend shape. So let's do it. There we go. So now we're just blinking on one side. So why is this helpful? Well, honestly, if you're an animator, maybe I don't want to blink out of both sides at the same time. Maybe I want the ability to just lower one eyelid. Or maybe I just want to make it so that my character only halfway smiles. And maybe the other side of the mouth, he's doing a frown. It just gives you a number of options when doing your animation and when creating your characters. So now what I would do is this. I would then take this character and I would hit Control D to make another copy. Oops, let me just drag them off to the side. Now I'm going to delete the blend shape entirely and just create it from scratch. I'm going to select the blink. I'm going to select the new one, and then I'm going to select the one that we want affected. Control selecting. I'm now going to go up here to create blend shape. Now we're having them blink out of one eye. I hope you see how that could be useful. But we can do that so we can combine a whole bunch of different shapes at once, which I think makes for a much more realistic model. And as far as being an artist or an animator, it gives you a multitude of options. Thanks for watching.